Good morning. Just give it a few more seconds, minutes, see what happens. Then we'll go forward. I'm doing wonderful today. I hope you are too. I'm going to get started in a few. Take my glasses. Okay, so good morning, beautiful people. It's your girl Bev on the Flower Bev Show for another Saturday. I was about to say Sunday. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for more butterfly mentality tips, more things to help you increase positivity in your life, in your world, in your circle, and whatever it is that you need it for. I'm grateful to be back again. I wasn't here last week, but I'm glad to be back again this week. I see we have a couple people in. I just want to say good morning again to you. And thank you for joining. Thank you for thinking enough of me to join my live. Last week, we talked about mental health, and it was a really good topic. But before I get into the parts about what we did last week, I just want to say that I'm on YouTube. For those of y'all that are on Facebook, I'm on YouTube as Fly with Bev. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. As you watch my videos on Facebook, you can please go to my YouTube channel and like those videos as well and comment there if you would like to. I do appreciate all those that are coming in. Good morning to those that are just joining us. It's a beautiful day here in Durham, North Carolina. I'm happy to be alive. It's a good day to be alive. There's so many wonderful things to be thankful for. And last time we spoke about mental health. And I realized that subject is very meaty. It's a very meaty subject. And what I mean by that is it can be carried on and on and on and on, but I'm not going to carry it on too far. I just wanted to touch up on a few things more before I get into something new today. But it's just a matter of us talking about anxiety and depression and things that will keep our minds bound and, just change from the things and the directions that we're trying to go for. I think a lot of things that we were talking about were just the things that we were anxious about, things that we were worried about, things that we know we can't control, but those things still come in our minds. And sometimes we will allow those things to have more power over us than they need to. Sometimes it just has to be a thought. And after it's a thought, you have to learn how to kick it away. And it's not always easy because sometimes those thoughts can be overpowering to us. They can be overwhelming to us. They can be, just killing our joy, those things that we think, we can do once we think those thoughts. It's sometimes just hard because we're trying to do good things. We're trying to do positive things. But those thoughts, those feelings, those moments, they take away from what it is that we're trying to do. And sometimes it's hard to come back from those things. So just the fact that, mental health is so important in all ages. It's not just adults that go through anxiety or depression and have mental health struggles. It is younger people. It is the kids, the ones that are so silent, they don't speak much, about anything. It's the ones that talk a lot. And you may not know that they're struggling with depression or anything like that, but they are. I just need somebody to write in the comments that y'all can hear me, that y'all can understand what it is that I'm saying. I don't know how well my internet connection is going to be today, but hopefully it's going to be pretty good. Just let me know you can hear me and understand me. And I'm pretty sure y'all would have already told me, like, y'all, we can't hear you. But just in case I'm talking away and you can't hear me, just let me know. Um, but thank you. But at the same time, it's just checking in on people, just seeing how they're doing. Not everyone that's smiling and having a good day is really doing well. Not everybody that's sad or, is just sad. Sometimes it could be worse than just sad. Sometimes it can definitely be depression. It can definitely be something weighing on their heart, weighing on their minds. And when we don't get the proper help, we don't get the proper aid, it ends in suicide, or it ends in somebody shooting up a place, or it ends in somebody committing murder, or it ends in somebody being overdosing on drugs, or drinking too much alcohol, or shouldn't be drinking it. Let me just put it this way: it ends in somebody doing something that is not beneficial for them. I'll put it that way, instead of sounding judgmental. And so life is a really big wheel of challenges. You can't escape challenges in life. You can't turn away from life. You can't shut off anything in life. Life is going to always be there. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you do it. I don't care whether you're doing good. I don't care whether you're doing bad. Every day is going to be a new challenge. And if you don't have a new challenge within that day, well, guess what? Don't sleep on it, because the next day is going to be something else new that you got to battle with, something else new you had to fight with, something else new you have to overcome. So life is going to continuously be what it is, something that challenges you to rise above the hardships of life. And that's the reason why I wanted to create my show. Just to recap on it, I want to create my show to be positive minded thinking, butterfly mentality in a life full of caterpillar struggles. And what I mean by that is having your mind to think above the way you feel in your present circumstances. Because there are three phases in life that I see. I see the caterpillar stage, where you're down at the bottom. You feel like you can't go up. You feel like every time you try to go up, things just knock you right back down, and you just can't find your way out of everything that you're going through. Then you have that second stage, which is the cocoon stage, where you're actually inside, isolated. You're away from everyone. And it doesn't have to mean physically away, but mentally and emotionally, you're like away from everybody. You're just doing your own thing. You're trying to get yourself together. You're trying to put yourself on that certain track. You're transitioning, right? And then you have the butterfly stage, where you find yourself flying out and you become this beautiful individual in this phase of life. And the reason why I put it that way is because there's going to be another phase where you're going to find yourself probably going right back through those caterpillar struggles, right back through that cocoon, and then evolving again, because that's what we're made to do. We're made to evolve. And there are so many people that don't evolve. There are so many people that are dwarfs mentally and emotionally. People see dwarfs or people that are shorter and they pick on them, they tease them. But guess what? Mentally and emotionally, spiritually, those people are really good people. Those people are really fit. Those people are really blossoming in their world. But yet you have adults that are 6'5", 5'10", 5'5", 5'1", that are normal height, but yet mentally and emotionally, they're still stuck in the past. They're still stuck on what happened yesterday. They're still stuck on those things that no longer benefit their life, benefit their world, but they can't seem to let those things go, because for some reason to them, that was better than what they're presently going through. And that's what I see depression at. Right. Let's see. Yes, we are made to evolve. We are not supposed to stay the same. No, we're not. We're definitely not. And that's what I wanted to talk about mental health as well, because depression has a way of making you feel like the past was better than the present. Is better than the present. And I spoke on the last show about being depressed, and I spoke about how I felt being depressed, but I didn't really go into details as far as why I felt depressed, because a lot of times I didn't really understand why I was depressed. But I do remember this moment of thinking, and feel free to chime in anytime you want, you guys. I appreciate the comments. Thank you, Vontasia. I remember thinking, growing up, I'm a church girl, so I always grew up in holiness. I did. I didn't grow up in the truth of God. For those that know what the truth of God is, underneath Pastor Gino Jennings, but I grew up in holiness, and I got to a place where, of course, I was living underneath my parents' roof, so I had to obey them. I had to do exactly what they told me to do. I had to dress the way that I was told to dress, and I didn't always understand why I had to. But they made it plain to me that it was going to happen, or, we ain't having nothing else. So as I got older and I began to have the mind to do what it is that I wanted to do, there was a struggle, always a struggle. Well, there was always a struggle regardless. But, I never forget, I lost one of my friends to murder. He was murdered. And that took a toll on me, and that changed my life around for the better, because I began to really, truly take my religious beliefs seriously. So that was like a teenager. I was my first time going to a funeral where somebody was my age, and I couldn't even shake that. My age, like I really, really felt like passing out. Like my mom had to catch me, and she told me, she was like, "You got to get yourself together, girl. Like get yourself together." And I just could not comprehend that I was at my 20-year-old friend's funeral. It just didn't click to me that I had to bury him a day after my 18th birthday. But that made me change my life around. So as I began to try to do things the right way, and then we came into the truth of God. A few years later, I began to get hit with depression, like 23ish, and that's what I told y'all the last time, end of 23. So I think one of the thoughts that came into my mind was how my life used to be. That began to cause depression in me, where I began to think about the things that I used to do and how my life used to be before I tried to do what was right. Trying to do everything right is a struggle within itself, because you never know when you're going to mess up, or how you're going to mess up, or where you're going to mess up, or who you're going to mess up with, or who you're going to mess up in front of, and how everything is going to unfold. And so I think depression sometimes can really weigh on your mind, and it really can take you to a place that's so dark and so deep that you can't even find your way out of it on your own. And that's what I was talking about, having someone that you can confide in that can actually help you out. So as I was just thinking about depression and just thinking about how it really truly is something that you, or how long you will mess up, absolutely. Or when will you ever get it right? Like, when will I ever get this right and ever fix this thing? And so it was the transition for me. It was just everything. It was like, okay, I'm in a new place. I'm trying to do everything right. I'm messing up. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to change it. I don't even know who else knows about this. And those things caused depression. And those things can cause depression. And those things can make you feel like you're on an island by yourself. Like you're messing up. You don't really know how to change it. You don't really know how to fix it. All you know is you're messing up. So my question to y'all today is, because we talked a lot about anxiety. We talked about the things that make us worry. What about those things that make us depressed? What about those things that keep us feeling like we can't go on, and that there's this deep internal sadness? What are some things that make us depressed? What are some things that the definition, of depression, basically a depressed mood, loss of interest in activities. Those things really do weigh on us. So, what are some things that can cause depression in us, if we're not being redundant to repeat the same things about worrying? But those things that make us depressed, or the things that have made us depressed in the past. Unexpected life changes. Hi, Rita. Unexpected life changes. I was just talking about thinking about doing a show about transitions. And I don't mean transition from, life to death, but transitions in your life. Unexpected life changes. Those things make you depressed because you don't know where this thing came from. Let's say somebody is in the army and they go to war, and they have the activity of all their limbs, right? And out of nowhere, here comes a bomb in the midst of war. Boom, leg cut off. So now they go from being they have two legs to walk on, being able to be independent, to now they have to lean on everybody to push them around in a wheelchair, to help them to the bathroom, to help them get washed, because they only have one leg. That's an unexpected life change. That's going to bring depression. Adapting to a new environment can cause depression. Absolutely. I went from the South to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let me tell y'all something. I'm back in the South now, and baby, I am happy. I am so happy. I am so happy that I did not stay up in Philadelphia. And I love my Philadelphians. Don't get me wrong. I love my Saints now. But that atmosphere was not for me at all, period. Being alone on your own for the first time. Absolutely. You you get your apartment. In your mind, you're like, yes, I'm successful. I'm doing what I need to be doing for myself. I feel great about this new change in my life. This is amazing. I'm adulting now. And then all of a sudden you look around and you come home, ain't nobody there but you and the crickets outside. You just like, man, I don't hear nothing in the background. Nobody laughing, nobody to talk to but yourself and God, for those of us that do pray. And it's kind of like, okay, so now you calling people. Hey girl, how you doing? I know I ain't talked to you in like six weeks, but I just want to see how you was doing. Yeah, I just got off work. And in your mind, you like, I needed to call somebody because I'm here by myself. Anybody here but me. And if you're not careful, you'll allow all that to fall on you, and then you're feeling some type of way. So you got to get out. You got to get out. You got to explore things, figuring things out on your own. The worst thing one of the things that I tell managers when I'm interviewing, they ask me, what are some of the things that bother me? And I always say, sometimes going forward with no direction. Like if it's something that I'm supposed to be doing, I need to know that I can come to you and get direction from it. Because there are times when you can go to somebody and you can ask them for help and they don't even know how to help you. And it's like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and figure this out on my own. That can be depressing because in your mind, it could be something so complicated. You don't know where to start. You don't know how to pull it together because you're trying to figure it out. You don't have the answer. And here you are searching for an answer that you don't even know when you're going to get it. You don't know when you're going to get the answer or where it's going to come from. Hi, Sister Nikia. Feeling like there's no way out at all. That can be depressing too because you don't really know what is happening. You're like, man, like my back is up against the wall. I don't see a way out. I don't see this changing for the better. All I see is darkness. All I see. And that's how I felt in depression. In depression, I felt like there was no way out at all. I was going to live my life, the rest of my life, depressed. Now we know right now that that's not the truth because I'm well out of it. Thank God. And I find it trying to sneak up on me at unexpected times. Even this year, even during the pandemic, I found it creeping up and I was like, oh no, even though the pandemic is still here. Right. But I was just like, oh no, we got to fight this thing. We got to, and for a month I felt those feelings. So I understand feeling like there's no way out at all. Yes, definitely being alone or on your own. Absolutely. Not being mentally and emotionally dependent can cause depression. So basically, you mean like, let me see, standing on your own 2 feet mentally and emotionally, like being independent can cause depression? Oh, dependent. Not being mentally, hold on, let me make sure I understand. Not being mentally and emotionally dependent can cause depression because you're standing on your own 2 feet. I got to understand that a little bit better. Give me a little bit more explanation on that, Vontasia. Because in my mind, I'm thinking being mentally and emotionally dependent can cause depression because if you're depending upon someone to give you what you need mentally and emotionally, that can cause you depression when they don't come to your rescue at the time you think that they should. When you're looking for them to show up for you and they don't show up for you, to me, that will cause depression. But I want to understand where you're coming from. Okay. So give me a little bit more understanding on that. Right. Yes, yes, yes. Let me see. Believing you are not living up to your full potential, to your potential. Absolutely. Like it worries us to not live up to it, but it also makes us depressed when we feel like, man, and I'm gonna be honest, I have a transparent moment. I feel like that sometimes. I look at my life today and I'm like, man, I know I could do better than this. I go to my job every day. I don't even want to go to work. I get way more excited doing this show than I do clocking in every day. Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all that straight out. If I could do this every day as a show, you know how people have talk show hosts every single day at the same time. If I could do this every day and not have to go to work, oh, I would do it hands down because it's something I enjoy doing. Let's see. And so you have to really like pull yourself out of that and say, okay, I'm doing it. As long as you're putting forth effort, that's the thing. You have to put forth effort. And if you're putting forth consistent effort every single day to be the best that you can be, then you can't look at, I'm not living up to my full potential. You just got to focus on what you are presently doing. And if you know you can do certain things that are better, then you make that effort. You're not going to get it right all the time, but you got to make that effort to do that. That makes the difference. Being broke sometimes, I'm going to be honest, like that can make you depressed if you're trying to get stuff. Like you're trying to get stuff done, you got bills to pay, or you have things to pay off. It may not, your bills may all be paid, but you may want to do a little something extra for yourself, and you can't do nothing but sit there and just do whatever you've been doing. Sit there and chew on your fingernails or eat what you got in the cabinets because you can't do anything special for yourself. Like depending on people to think for you. Yes, absolutely, Vontasia. Depending on people to think for you is the worst. Is the worst. And it will leave you depressed because if you depend on them to have the thoughts for you, and then what happens when they're not there for you? What happens when they don't come to you at a time that you think that they should, or you look to them and they're not there? That will rob you of feeling good about yourself. Or I'm always fixing my glasses, y'all. Don't pay me no mind. I think one of my eyebrows is like offset or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yes, that definitely can cause you to feel depressed. I think she mean independent. Okay. Like not knowing how to do things and always waiting on others to tell you what to do. Absolutely. Now, I'm the type of person that loves guidance. I love guidance. I love to be told what to do, honestly, especially when it's in a way where I know it's going to help me. Now, if you being bossy and mean and you don't really have my best interest at heart, then I'm not going to want to listen to you. But when I'm instructed to do something, and I actually am, for those of y'all that are just joining in, we're talking about depression. Thank you for coming on. I think my internet is probably acting a little funny because I keep seeing my Wi-Fi thing pop up. So I hope y'all can still hear me. I do apologize for all the blunders. Okay. I love y'all. But we're talking about depression and things that make us feel depressed. So feel free to chime in. I appreciate every comment, every love, every like, every laugh, every, you know, every statement. I really do appreciate you all. Let's see. Well, I forgot what I was talking about. Like not, I do love direction, but I do understand there are times when I have to take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and I have to get on and do those things that I need to do. Pouring yourself out to everybody else, just giving, 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 and not receiving. Oh, that can definitely make you depressed. I have been there. I've been there. I've been there. And since Nakia, I know what type of person you are. So I understand that some people are just built to just give. And then when you meet that one person, because you're not going to meet many, but when you meet that one or few people that will look at you and say, stop doing that. You're doing too much. Sit down. Let me give to you. When you meet that one person, you're like, oh my gosh, they really care about me. Like they don't see me as a person that they just want me to give, give, give. They want to give to me too. They want to make me laugh. They want to make me happy. They want to give to me. So when you find that person, you're like, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? So you're still giving to everybody else, but then that person gives you the things that you've been kind of giving away to other people. So it's really, really good to like meet people that actually give to you as well. And it's rare, but for those of us that are givers, sometimes we have to smack our own hand. Stop that. Sit down. You're doing too much. It's okay. They're going to be all right if you say no. They're going to be all right if you say no. They're going to be all right if you say no. I have to remind myself that they're going to be all right. And when I tell myself that, I don't rush to do certain things as much as I used to. I be like, okay, you know what? They're going to be all right. You know what? You did this, but they're going to be all right because you're doing this for you. Greetings, Brother Daniel. They're doing this. You're doing this for yourself. You're doing this to protect your peace. You can't keep giving, 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 because there's a saying that says you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And if I don't have anything to give anybody, what makes you think I'm going to be able to do that? I'm not going to be able to give anybody anything if I've given it all away. You know, and I've been that person down through my years, through my life, ever since I was younger. Like I've always wanted to be in the medical field because I've always wanted to help other people. When I was going through depression, I had patients that would come through. They were depressed. I was giving them words that I was saying to myself, like, why ain't saying this to myself? But I'm saying it to them because evidently I put aside what I was going through to give to them. And sometimes you do have to take yourself away from all of that. And you really do have to look in the mirror and say, hey, you need help too. So how are you out here doing all this stuff for everybody else? And you gotta work on you. You gotta give you some love, right? It's not always easy. So in those moments that we find ourselves just giving and giving and giving and giving for people, what are we actually doing to aid ourselves? You know, what are we actually doing to tell ourselves that I love you? You know, just like we're telling everybody else while we're giving to them that we love them. It's nothing wrong with taking time for yourself. It's not a selfish thing. It's not a selfish thing. There are some people that need more time to themselves than others. Like me, I can cherish a lot of time to myself. I definitely will. But I'm not the type of person that will be by myself a lot. There are some people that will say no a lot of times, and that's just how they operate. And then they'll say yes sometimes. But there are some of us that we say yes a lot more than we say no. And that's just our nature. It's just who we are as a person. But we have to learn how to balance things. And if that person that says no all the time doesn't learn how to balance it out, then they're going to be considered a very selfish person. You can protect your peace, but you also need to make sure that you're balancing it out, because that same person that says no a lot, when they're looking for people to be there for them, they don't want to hear no. So, and then us, when we say yes a lot and somebody tells us no, that makes us depressed because we're like, dang, like I done all this for you. I done all that for you. I done dropped everything you said you needed me. I ran here. I ran there. I picked up this for you. I picked up the phone for you every single time you called. I made sure I gave you a positive message. And then you're going to tell me no when I need you? I need you to do this for me. I need you to talk with me. I'm not feeling good. And you're going to say no. Yeah, oh yeah, that can make you not even want to talk to that individual. I hope y'all can still hear me. I see my Wi-Fi thing popping up. I think Sister Ivana said we can hear you. Okay, she said that earlier, but I'm hoping y'all can still hear me. So that's exactly what depression will have you feeling. And it's also based off of what you give to other people. Sometimes it's the lack of concern from others that can make you depressed. Like Sister Nakia was talking about, just, pouring yourself out to everybody else and not receiving anything in return. We don't give to receive, but yes, thank you, Sister Nicola. How are you this morning? We don't give to receive, but at the same time, when you're giving all the time and you have to sit back and wonder, like, man, when the last time somebody gave me something? Or when they finally give you something, you're saying to yourself, like, wow, people still do that? Because you just didn't realize people could do that, right? So that's the thing of just really just taking your time and trying to keep yourself in a healthy mental state, knowing that everybody is not going to be there for you. Everybody is not going to give you what you give them. And that's something that keeps you from feeling those depressed moments. Everybody's not going to be there when you think they should. Somebody is going to be there for you. It's going to be at the time you need it, whether you believe it or not. Everybody does not think the way you think. I can't expect people to give to me the way I give to them because I'm Bev. And Bev, I'm going to be honest about her. Yeah, I'm talking about myself. Like, I'm not talking. But I'm going to be honest. This girl, she gives people in ways that I know, like, some days I'm shocked at myself because I know what it is. I know, I'm like, man, like, I'm giving. So if people don't give me in return, I'm like, just got to take my losses and run. I feel like it's easy to say no at first and then later, or maybe say yes. And that's how it is for some people. Me, I'm the opposite. It's so hard for me to say no. It is so hard. If somebody say, Bev, I need to talk to you about something, or can we do this, or can we do that? I'll say yes, but deep in my heart, I'll be like, why did I say yes to that? Why did I do that? Or I go out there and I'll be like, I shouldn't have said that, right? But for some people, Brother Daniel, that's good because I am trying to master that. I've been talked to about that. Like, you need to sit down. And I love stuff like that because it really lets me know that that person cares about me and they want me to be more healthy mentally and emotionally and take time out for myself and protect my peace and do those things that are necessary. So I'm definitely like that type of person that has to learn how to say no first. Or I'll think about it. Or hold on, let me think about it. Let me see. And I think that's more healthy. Let me see. And then that way they may think you may say yes, but they know it's still a possibility you'll say no. So I think that can kind of help you not worry too much about what's going to happen with that individual if you say no. And I think there's a sister, Sister Shanice. She does the thing of the power of no. And I think it's a beautiful thing because a lot of people don't know how to say no and be at peace with no. I'm one of those people. I'm still learning how to say no and be at peace with it. It's not always easy to do that. It's definitely not always easy to do that. But one thing I wanted to talk about as well is the transition. I think going to like, I think there were two things that brought my mind to it. And this is not going to be, this is just my part two of mental health because I feel like I just wanted to wrap it up with depression. But unexpected life changes and adapting to a new environment can cause depression. Those two comments that I saw by my sister Rita and sister Vontasia really truly stuck out to me too, because life is full of surprises. Like life is full of things that will get you down, full of things that will hit you. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a minister talking about how, something can hit you and it catch you off guard and you're shaken up by it. And I think that's one thing that can really put you, I would say, um, the loss of a loved one. Let's say you know this individual, you're really tight with this cousin or aunt, your mom, your dad, whomever it is, and out of nowhere, they're a healthy individual. They're feeling great. They're always encouraging everybody. They're doing everything you know that they would normally do. Nothing is different. Nothing is out of the ordinary. You have a conversation the day before, right? And then out of nowhere, that person is no longer here. You get a phone call. They're no longer alive. That's an unexpected life change. That's an unexpected moment that you didn't see coming. And in your mind, you're trying to ask yourself, how in the world am I going to adjust to this new way in my life? I think I might be skipping out a little bit. Let me know y'all can hear me now. If y'all can't hear me, please let me know. Okay. Don't hesitate. Because I don't know if it's like keeping away y'all comments or, those of y'all that have my cell phone number, you can text me and say, hey, Bev, we don't hear you. Okay. Just so I can make sure. I just want to make sure I'm being heard. Okay. And out of nowhere, this person is like gone. In your mind, you're trying to adjust to that person not being there. You're trying to adjust. Thank you, sis. You're trying to adjust to that person not being present in your life anymore. And it doesn't even have to be that deep to the point where it's someone passing away, but it could be someone leaving your life. They could be telling you, look, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. I don't want to do with you no more. And in your mind, you're like, wait a minute. Like, what happened? What did I do wrong? And in your mind, you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what did I do? How did this happen? Is there anything I could have done to change this? And so in your mind, you're trying to figure out what in the world is my life going to be like going forward, because this person meant a lot to me. This person is important to me. This person added to my life. What am I going to do? That can cause depression. That can make you feel some type of way. That can make you feel like, some people may say your life is over, but it's not. But at the same time, when someone has an impact on your life so great, or something, the loss of a job, you don't know what happened, but out of nowhere, you don't have a job anymore. So here you have bills. You have all these things that are supposed to be paid off by you, and you don't even have the means anymore to take care of those things. You don't know where your next paycheck gonna come from. You don't know how you're gonna buy food. You have this car, you don't know how you're gonna pay for it. You have this roof over your head. You don't know how you're gonna keep sleeping there because you just lost your job. You don't really know what's happening. So the unexpected life changes, the transitions in life are coming into your world, and your world is shaken up, and you don't really know what to do with it. You don't really know how to progress in that area anymore because something has been stripped away from you. I think about, how you have a table, and I forgot what this is called. So somebody please write it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. You have a tablecloth and you have the table set, and on the table, you grab the tablecloth and you grab the tablecloth so fast that none of the dishes move, none of the knives move. Everything stays flat and centered. Everything stays the way it was before you snatched the tablecloth away. What is that called? Somebody help me out, because I don't know what it's called. But I think it's so unique, and it's kind of related to life, because we have to be so stable mentally and emotionally and spiritually, physically, financially, that when unexpected life changes happen, we're able to stand the test of that time. We're able to transition into that new place in our lives, into that lack of that person's presence, into that this person just passed away, into we just lost that job, into we just lost that friend, into we just lost, that car, this house, whatever we lose, we're able to still be stable enough to not fall apart, if that makes sense. So with that transition that happens, just equivalent to taking that tablecloth and nothing moves, we have to be sound and stable like that enough that that doesn't shake us from being where we are. It doesn't make us fall apart to the point where we can't get ourselves together. We fall into deep depression. We can't get up. We can't wake up in the morning. We can't do this. We can't do that. But know this, even if the rug, so to speak, is snatched out from underneath you and you fall, it doesn't make you any less of a human. It doesn't make you a bad person because you couldn't handle this transition in your life. You couldn't handle this unexpected life change. You couldn't handle this slap in the face. You couldn't handle this lack of a job. You couldn't handle this person passing away in your life. It doesn't make you less than a person because you fall apart during crisis in your life, because you fall apart, because you fall into depression, because you want to take your life, because you stop eating, because you get sick, because your mind is all over the place and you feel like you can't hold yourself together. That friend left you, so now you feel all over the place. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what you did wrong. You're not less than a person because life got you shaken up. You're not less than a human being because you didn't see this coming. You're not less than a human being because you don't know what to do with what you just been hit with. You're not less than a person. Guess what? You're still human. And as long as you have breath in your body, you have time to recuperate. You have time to come back from that. You have time to rebuild. You have time to love yourself again. You have time to forgive yourself for feeling less than a person. You have time to forgive that other person. You have time to get another job. You have time to every day pick yourself up after losing that individual to death or to a tragedy or to a sickness that no one really even knew about. You didn't know that they were sick. You didn't know that they were hurting. You didn't know that they felt this way. You didn't know that life was going to hit you like this, but it doesn't make you less than a person to not know how to figure things out. If you don't have direction right now, it doesn't make you less than a person. You don't have to walk around like your life is no longer valuable because you don't know how to figure things out on your own. You're not supposed to. You're not going to have to figure everything out, but you have to wait for the answer. Sometimes you're going to have to sit in the midst of that darkness and figure out things in the dark. And guess what? Light will eventually shine. So you can't look at the way you handle things as, the end all be all, so to speak. You can't look at, man, I didn't handle that well. Man, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel like my life is just not what it should be? Why do I feel like I'm not who I should be because I messed up, or because that person left me, or because that person died, or because I lost this job, or because of this, or because of that? You're still a wonderful person. You're just an imperfect person, just like everybody else walking around here. You're no different than everybody else. You may have different struggles. You may have a different outlook on life. You may have a different way of viewing things, but it does not make you less than the next person. You're just as good as the next person. You just happen to not know what to do with this situation. And that's okay. It's okay not to be okay. And I think people have to hear that. It's okay not to be okay. It doesn't matter if I stayed in depression for 3 years. I stayed in depression for 3 years, 3.5 years, maybe going towards 4. I don't know. But the bottom line is I should never look at myself as a failure because I allowed something in my life to transpire. Well, something in my life happened and I allowed myself to be down for so long. Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you have to be down, because how are you truly going to enjoy being up and appreciate and respect being up if you are never down? It doesn't matter how long you're down. The bottom line is, are you going to ever make yourself get back up? Are you going to stay down? Yes, the process of life is life. It's the circle. What's that, Lion King, the circle of life? It's going to happen. It's going to go like, life goes like this. You're going to find yourself up some days, and other days you're going to find yourself down. But guess what? It doesn't make you no less than the other person next to you. Doesn't make you better when you get up either. Doesn't make you better than someone that's going through the same thing that you're going through, but you got up before them. No, after you get up, how about you help them if you can? So it's like depression makes us compare. Depression makes us feel like, we're in this alone. Depression makes us feel like there's no way out. Depression makes us feel like we want to take our life. We want to escape these things. And it's so easy to remain in those places. But the hard work is in your mind. The hard work is taking a consistent effort, even if it's just a little bit of effort, to do more for yourself today than you did yesterday. That will put you closer to coming out of whatever you're thinking and whatever you're feeling. I hope I'm not like boring y'all with this stuff, because I know I'm just talking, but depression has a way to weigh on us to make us feel like we shouldn't be feeling the way that we're feeling. If your business is not doing as well as you think it should be, okay, there are other people out there with that same struggle. There are other people out there fighting that same fight. But the consistency, the fight, the faith that you have to put in yourself and things that you're doing and things that you're dreaming about, that will help you. Like one thing I looked at when I was depressed is I kept trying to imagine, I had to imagine myself being out of depression. I had to imagine myself being better, feeling better, thinking better, looking better, eating better. I had to imagine, I had to get myself to that place, because it was not easy trying to think positive when all you can see is darkness. It's like being at the bottom of a tunnel and you don't even know how you got there, and you don't know how in the world you're going to get out. But in your mind, you have to imagine what it's like to be free. You have to close your eyes and say, what is it like to receive what it is that I'm giving? What is it like? And one thing I was taught prior to test taking, I was taught years ago that whenever you get ready to take a test, before you open the test or read one question, you close your eyes and you imagine yourself passing. Well, sometimes that's what you got to do in life. You're going through something really terrible, right? You're going through something and you're depressed about it. You're going through something and you're not feeling your best about it. So as you sit there, you have to just sit there and you have to think about it. You have to say, okay, what does it look like? What does it look like, me coming out of this? Okay, so you're depressed about somebody leaving your life or somebody hurting you. What does it feel like to be healed? What does it look like to be healed? How am I thinking? How am I feeling? Where's my mindset? How much am I smiling? Am I eating better? You have to sit there and imagine yourself in a better place. Because if you continue to just dwell on where you're at, you'll never really truly be able to get to where you need to go. And sometimes you do have to embrace where you're at. You have to embrace it. And what I mean by that is acknowledge the realness of it. Acknowledge where you're sitting. I'm sitting in a place in life that I don't like it. I'm not enjoying this. I feel terrible. I feel empty. I feel voids. I feel helpless. I feel hopeless. I feel, just like a fool. I feel like I shouldn't be here. But guess what? You have to acknowledge that you're there. That's the first step. You deny it. There's a grieving process. And the first step is denial. So you deny it for a while, but then you have to accept it. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Whether I want it to or not, it is happening. And the next step, if I'm not mistaken, would be, what is that? I think it's either anger. I think it's anger. And you get angry about it. You've accepted it. I can't remember how the step process go. I'm messing it up right now. But you're angry about it. You're angry. It's anger. You get angry about the fact that it's happening. Actually, no, I think it's bargaining first. You bargain. You say, okay, if you do this, and then I can get out of this. If I can get out of this, help me get out of this. Help me get out of that. Help me get out of this. Help me to figure this thing out. What's going on. Then you get angry because you realize you can't change it. You can't change it. You can't change it at all. And then the last step, I think, is acceptance. So I probably got that wrong. But anyway, the bottom line is you deny it, you get angry about it, you bargain, and then you have to accept it. Like, okay, it's happening. It's happening. Regardless, it's happening, and there's nothing I can do to change this. So what am I supposed to do? Embrace it, accept it, acknowledge it, but at the same time, look for a better tomorrow. Look for things to slowly get better, even if they get better this much. Look for things to slowly get better. Look for your mind to feel better. Look for your heart to feel better. I was dealing with a heartbreak years ago, and I think I mentioned this the last time. And I really felt like it was breaking me. I mean, breaking me down all the way. And I didn't like the pain that I felt in my chest. I didn't like the pain that I felt in my heart. But someone told me and convinced me to embrace every last bit of that hurt. And it's like the more I embraced it, the more I accepted it, the more I realized it was real and it wasn't going away until I got through it, the better I could see myself coming out of it. But it was hard. And I would tell people that I talked to about it, very few, this is hard. I feel broken. I don't feel like myself. I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't understand it. For me, what helped, I had to make moves. I enrolled in school when everybody said I was crazy. I completed one of the hardest programs, which was nursing, and did this all with God's help. Wasn't me. That's what I'm saying. Like, you really have to put yourself in the mind frame that you got to keep going. You got to keep making effort every day to do what needs to be done. And the nursing program, I've heard from many people, is very hard. It's not easy. So to do that when you're not feeling your best, you're proving something to yourself. You're proving something to the naysayers. You're proving something to the enemy that you can make it, that you're not in this alone, that you're not going to let this be your end. It's only going to be the end of this phase in your life, but it's definitely not going to be the end of your life. But this phase is going to end. Whatever it is that's causing you to feel some type of way, whatever it is that's causing you to feel depressed, feel down, understand it is not your end. It's just a phase that you're going through right now in the process of life that eventually will be over. But every day you got to make consistent steps. Don't deny what you feel. Don't ever deny your feelings. If you're angry, if you're mad, if you're sad, if you're disgusted, whatever you feel, acknowledge it to be real and understand that it's okay to feel that way. But you can't stay there. You can't stay there. You got to make effort to move forward. You got to make effort to come out of it. You got to make effort to pour into yourself. You got to make effort. And I'm talking to myself too, because there are things in my life that I know I got to make better effort on, that I know I can make better effort on. But there's this mixture of anxiety. There's this mixture of me worried about how the outcome is going to be. It doesn't matter. The outcome is going to be better than what it is presently. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Just because I have these shows and, speak to you all about these things, that doesn't mean that I'm not fighting my own battles and my own struggles. I'm dealing with things myself, even today, that I know within myself is going to get better. I just don't know when or how, but I'm believing that it's going to be better than what it is right now. But you're right. If I didn't fall, I wouldn't have did it. I would have been comfortable where I was at. Yeah. So sometimes these things push us. We're not in our best. We're not living to what we should be living to. And yes, absolutely, Brother Daniel, we all are. But you know how some people that are unrealistic will be like, man, she just look like she ain't never have a bad day. Oh yeah, I have many bad days. Okay. Those that are real tight with me, they know. But yes, if sometimes when you're in a bad place, it's actually pushing you to go, wow, that just hit me. Thank you, Sister Nikia. That just hit me. If I wasn't in this place right now, would I really truly be focusing or trying to figure out how I can do better? Sometimes you have to be in a bad place to know that you have to do better. So that bad place will push you to do better. It will push you to think differently. It will push you to pursue something in a way that you never pursued it before. You have to go after things in a way that's not regular to you, that's not normal to you. You have to go outside the box, outside something you normally wouldn't do to get results that you never thought that you needed. So that's the thing. You can't, what's the definition of insanity? Being insane, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So sometimes you have to be put in a bad place in your life in order to be able to go after something in a different way that you never thought you would in order to get results that you need in the present phase. So what you used to do 2 years ago before things fell apart, it's not going to work now. It's not going to work. You have to do something different to get to a different phase in your life. Man, that just hit me. I have to do something different today that's not good, that didn't work for yesterday. So what I'm doing today has to work for what I'm going through today that will push me forward to what I'm going to deal with tomorrow. So I can't expect to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect the different results to happen. No, I have to do something different to get different results. I have to think outside the box. What am I doing now that's not working for me? What was I doing then that I should not try now because that's not going to work for me? I got to do something different. Yes, girl. Why when we fall today, we looking for that blessing? Hello, I'll be like, hey, a blessing coming, Lord. But I needed that experience in life to know what will come. Like you need these experiences. We need these experiences. Absolutely. We need them. It's like a blessing is coming. However, we got to work. We still got to work. We still got to do what we got to do, but we got to think differently than we did before. I don't know if this is reaching y'all today, but I'm really reaching myself with these words. So, and sometimes that's just how it's going to be for me because I don't just speak to everybody else. I have to speak to myself too. Um, but whatever we're doing today, however we're feeling today, whether it be positive or negative, whether it be happy or sad, whatever it is, we just really truly got to look outside of what it is we're normally doing. Well, yay. Thanks, Brother Daniel. He's like, it's reaching. But it's like we have to change it up. We got to change it up. What I'm doing today to try to reach results and what I'm going through today, I got to stop it. I got to trust that what I'm doing, that where I'm at, should I say, I have to trust that where I'm at is leading me to where I'm trying to go, but I have to do different things that I did for yesterday. And I remember Pastor Jennings talking about that. He was talking about where you're at. It's not going to work if you're trying to do things that you used to do. Like you have to do something different, if I'm paraphrasing correctly. You have to do things differently. And you have to learn how to think outside the box. Okay, what I did yesterday is not working for today. So I have to change it up. She said she in Walmart, but laying on the therapy chair in her mind. Well, I'm glad to be of service today. I thank y'all for coming on. I really do. I'm getting closer to wrapping up, but this is really powerful to me because I really do need this. Like, I really, really do. Like, it's just so many things that we battle with and we deal with on the inside, and we feel like there is no way out. There's no way to get our minds wrapped around positivity, but there is a way out. You just have to understand that whatever you're going through is not the final say in your life. It's not the end. It's not the end, and you can't look at it as such. You can't look at it as if this is the last thing. You can't look at it as this hurt is going to always be there. It is not. But you have to go forward. You got to push through the hurt. You have to embrace that hurt, and you have to acknowledge that it will not stay there. It's not going to always be there. You just have to find it within your mind and your heart to believe that it's not going to be there always. It's not going to hurt like this always. It's not going to feel like this always. It's not going to be like this always. No matter how bad it looks, you can't allow your circumstances to drown you to the point where you can't see nothing more positive than what's going on. So I'm telling y'all, it's a daily struggle. It's a daily journey, but things will get better. And if you don't believe that right now, I'm going to tell you what somebody once told me. Just what I just said. You may not see it right now, but it won't be like this always. It just won't. It won't be like this always. You won't cry like this all the time. It doesn't matter if it takes you 6 more years to get through this. Not that I'm saying that it will, but you have to make up in your mind that no matter how long it takes, I'm going to come out of this. And I think that's what it is. Don't put a time limit on yourself. Don't say I need to be done with this in 3 weeks. Nope. Don't put a time limit. Get time out of your mind. Understand that whatever you're going through is necessary for you, and it's going to make you stronger when you come out. So don't look at time. Don't look at how long you've been dealing with it. Don't look at how long you've been fighting with it or been struggling with it or been emotional about it. It's going to come to an end one day. And when that day comes, you're going to look back on this day and say, you know what? Bev said it would come to an end. If you don't remember nothing, remember that. Whatever it is you're dealing with, it's going to come to an end. You just can't look at it as it got to end today because you're rushing. You're rushing through it. Whatever lessons you need to learn while you're dealing with what you're dealing with, then ask yourself, what is it that I need to learn? That's one thing I pray about. I ask God all the time, Lord, what am I missing? What am I not learning from this? Whatever it is I need to learn, give me the wisdom to learn it. Give me the knowledge, the understanding on what I need to learn so that I can come out of it. Because right now I don't see the end. But evidently it's not meant for me to see the end because I still have to deal with this thing. It's not going to go away. You got to go through it to come out of it. So I hope that y'all can see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel soon. And I hope that whatever it is that you're dealing with and whatever it is that's weighing you down, that you can find yourself gaining strength to come through it. So I love y'all. I'm going to bring this to an end. Of course, I got to end it with my song because I was just singing it the other day. But, I really appreciate y'all's support. I didn't know that this was going to be this way. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, if y'all didn't read my post yesterday, I really do appreciate y'all for just taking the time out of your day to spend time with me, to hear me talk and to put in your input as to, things that you want to help out with. So, or because what you say helps me and what you say helps others. So I appreciate all those comments and intakes. And, feel free to watch this over and over again. Share it, please. Share it. Go on YouTube, like it, share it on Facebook, share it with whomever you want to share it with. But I appreciate y'all. So I hope you all have a great day. I'm glad. Oh, definitely needed this, needed this. I'm glad. I'm glad. I needed it too, honestly. So I love y'all. So I'm going to slowly come to an end with my song. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you till we meet again. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you till we meet again. Please do more of this show. Thank you so much. Yes, I definitely will look forward to that. Y'all have a great day, a great rest of your weekend. And I love y'all. I really do. And I mean that. I love y'all. Peace and blessings as well. Take care. Bye.